Hi, continuing today's thought, and today we're going to do a poll update. I haven't done one in a while. Could be because I'm lazy. That could be one reason. But the probably more probable reason is there hasn't been a whole lot of change in the polls for weeks and weeks, and maybe even months. They generally show Trump ahead in almost all the polls, and then every so often you'll get one that will show Biden ahead, but then it goes back to, then the next poll will come out and it will show Trump ahead. And that's a situation, the way it's been for quite a while now until recently. Now which is why I'm doing this poll update now, because I saw something that really astonished me, and it may astonish all of you. Ever since that debate, people have been wondering what would happen with the polls, how the polls would be affected. And now we have this assassination attempt, and people wondering what has happened to the polls since that assassination attempt. Fortunately, a failed attempt. We should all be able to agree on that, regardless of what your political affiliation is. But now we have a pretty good idea. I just looked at some polls today, and I'm just astonished at what I saw. So first of all, remember, Trump was already leading in almost every poll before that debate. And then we were wondering what would happen after that debate. And after the debate, Trump, he was still ahead, and maybe by a little bit more, but there were still some polls showing Biden ahead. And now we had this assassination, and we are now a week since that, and we can look at now some recent polls, and I'm just going to put up a table and a chart to show you something really astonishing. So first of all, here's the table. As you can see in that table, Trump is ahead in every poll, and in some of those polls, he is ahead outside the margin of error. But what really got me is the map that I'm about to show you. Now, in this map, it shows the red states and the blue states. Usually what you'll have, well, there are two kind of maps. There's one that will show red state. The states that are colored red are the ones that the polls definitely show going very likely, almost certainly Republican. The blue ones are the Democrat Biden, and then you'll have some other colors, some neutral color, which would be the toss-up states, the swing states, the states where there is no decided advantage for either candidate. But there is also a second map, which is where they look at the current polls, regardless of whether they're inside or, well, the swing states would be within the margin of error, right? So they would put up they would say, what if the election, because these polls are snapshots, right, of today, not what will happen at election time. But you're looking at these polls as of today, and they will sometimes put up a map. There will be a map that just shows you the map, only red and blue, if based on what the polls are showing. So it's showing which way would the swing states go if the election were held today, or even, well, as you can see, even the non-swing states. So this is what really got me. Now, you're going to look at the map that's going to show the red and the blue states, and then you look at the very top line, and that's going to show you the total. That adds up the electoral votes, how many electoral votes each candidate has. As we all know, you need usually 270 to win, but you can win, if you didn't know this, with 269. If you have it, because that would be a tie, 269, and then it would be decided in the House of Representatives. In the House of Representatives, each state gets one vote. So it has nothing to do with how many, with the population of each state. It doesn't have anything to do as with the electoral college of how many, every state has 2 senators, but also how many representatives you have. So none of that. It's each state gets one vote. So it's how many red states there are and how many blue states. And in that case, the Republicans, if the past, if what we have going into the election, if the Republicans, as seems most likely, control most states, then even in a tie, Trump would win. It would be obviously very close, but he would win. But this map that I'm going to show you now, as I said, you look at the top line and look at the upper right-hand corner. That's the Republican, that's Trump's number of electoral votes if the election were held today based on what the polls are showing. And here is the map. That's right. That's what really floored me. 335. Trump would need 270. Well, either candidate would need 270 to win based on those polls if the election were held today. That is, even landslide doesn't really, you have to go all the way back to Ronald Reagan when he won in his second election, the election of 1984. He won every state except Minnesota. He won 49 states, and you can see we're very close to that. And if you're the Biden campaign, or if you're a Democrat, you have to that map is showing states. We were talking about swing states, but it is showing states that usually vote, such as Virginia, states that usually, it's been decades since Virginia voted for the Republican, but you see him winning Virginia, and then all the other states, Michigan, Wisconsin. Well, Trump won Wisconsin in 2016, but that was very unusual, but it looks like he's going to win it again, and Michigan and Pennsylvania. If Trump wins just one of those states, it's over. But if he wins, if he wins New Jersey, if he wins these states that are traditionally blue states, we're talking landslide. We're talking more than a landslide. We're talking about a total tsunami, tidal wave wipeout. So that's why I'm a conservative, independent conservative. So I'm crossing my fingers, knock on wood, and don't get cocky, don't get overconfident. But you look at those, if Biden loses one of those three states, if he loses Wisconsin, Michigan, or Pennsylvania, it's all over. But if he loses Virginia, it's also all over. He's got a tough road to hoe there. But I do want to leave with a little good news for the Democrats, because there's not much good news in what you just saw there. But there is some good news for Democrats. The Democrats are saying, well, we have to get rid of the Electoral College, which won't happen. You would need a constitutional amendment, and you're not going to get a vote from the smaller states for that. They'd have to be crazy. Then you have this national voting, popular vote, NPV, national popular vote contract that they're trying to push through. You've had several states have already agreed to this, where the states would, these states have passed laws dedicated that they would give all their electoral votes to whichever candidate wins the most, wins the popular vote, regardless of what the people of their state vote. So if your state votes for one candidate, but the other candidate wins the popular vote, then those people would be, the majority of the people in that state would be disenfranchised. I don't think that, I see constitutional problems with that, but also it's only the blue states that are passing this legislation, and they're not, I don't think that's going to happen anyway, but it could all be moot, because this is my point, this is the good news for Democrats, that if anything close to that map that holds for the actual election, then Trump will win the popular vote. And then you don't need to get rid of the you don't have to worry about the Electoral College anymore. Trump will have won the popular vote, and you can all rest easy that the next president of the United States won both the popular vote and the electoral vote. So that's my good news for Democrats out there. And with that, that's my thought for today. Thanks for stopping by. If you could subscribe, that would really be great. Share this video with anyone you think would benefit from it. Your comments are always welcome below the video in the comments section, but most of all, come back and see me again. I would love to see you all again. And until I do see all of you again, bye.